All my friends are pregnant. Okay, this is a weird way to start a video, but seriously, at the time of this recording, I have 13 pregnant friends and I need cards. And if you know me, you know I don't do store-bought cards. I need handmade cards. Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and in this video, I thought I would just take you along as I make a bunch of baby shower cards. Okay, so the first important thing to note is that I'm doing 2 here just because I'm gonna try and get a bunch done all at once, but you don't have to do 2, you can just do 1. And this is watercolor paper. This is Coldpress watercolor paper, and I've taped it down to a piece of cardboard so that I can move it off my desk later, but also so that the watercolor paper doesn't warp. I'm gonna add a lot of paint to it, so I don't want it to get too wavy, and taping it down helps with that. So I've taped 2 pieces down. And then in terms of materials, when I'm making cards like this, it's gonna be totally abstract and I just kind of pick whatever's inspiring me that day. So today I'm gonna use acrylic paint, and I actually am not an acrylic painter. I don't really know what I'm doing, but these colors inspire me and I'm just gonna have fun with them. So I've grabbed a bunch of different colors. These are Amsterdam acrylics and these are Pebeo Studio acrylics, but it can be anything you want. Just pick whatever is inspiring you, and I've just picked a whole bunch of different colors. Then I have a whole bunch of different paintbrushes, just different sizes, different shapes, nothing fancy. I have a jug of water. I have some Posca paint pens. I think I might use these at the end for the lettering on top. And I have some like just basic crayons. These are Neocolor 2 pencils, and I don't know if I'll use them. We'll see. But just kind of having a bunch of different things out that you might like. So I have squeezed out a bunch of my colors. I'm using palette paper. You can just buy this, and it is essentially a palette on a piece of paper, and then once you're done, you can just throw it out. But you can use a palette if you want to, and then I have paper towel. So I am basically just going to have fun with this and jump in and make some marks on the paper, and then once I'm done, I'm going to take the tape off, cut and fold, and those are going to be my cards. So I hope you just have fun with this too. I'm going to hyperlapse as I go, otherwise this is going to be really long, and I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing as I do it. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is cover the back of my pages with my darkest color. So this is like a blue-gray. You can use whatever you want. And once these are covered, I'm gonna actually let them dry for a little bit. I don't want my next colors to really blend with this color because I think it'll look a little bit muddy, so I'm gonna let it dry. And then once it's dry, I'm gonna start adding splotches of whatever color I'm feeling like. So first I'm gonna do yellow, and then I'll add a little bit of like a peachy color. And I'm just doing these all in random shapes, whatever is floating my boat. So these are splotches. Then I'm gonna probably do some circles or some, I don't know, just any random shapes that I feel like at the time, just whatever comes to me. I'm really not thinking about this too much at this point because my plan is to add lots of stuff to this page, and I think this will kind of become the background. Once I've finished adding all of the random shapes to the page, I'm actually just gonna do some brush strokes in all different colors. So you saw my palette at the start. I've got lots of different colors on here, and I'm really just gonna dip my paintbrush in and fill up my page with all different colors. So I'm letting the colors blend together on my palette, and I'm just filling up this page. I think it's gonna end up being a lot of little brush strokes, and all the stuff I did at the beginning is gonna end up kind of just being the background. So keep adding until this is really, really full. It's gonna be a lot of paint on the page, which is why I taped down my pages beforehand so it wouldn't warp. Once I'm done that, I think I'm actually going to take this little scraper tool that I have, and I'm going to try just kind of like making a pattern on here. This isn't something that I normally do, but I'm feeling inspired, so why not go for it? All right, so this is about 95% dry now, which is perfect for what I want to do. And because I know that these sheets are going to make 2 cards each, I'm actually going to add 2 different spots to write on each of these pages. So ultimately I'll have 4. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some white acrylic paint and my metal tool, and I'm going to actually just make kind of like a swash of paint on each one, and I want it to blend a tiny little bit with the background because I think those colors will look cool. And I'm placing it at the bottom of each card because I think that that's where I'm going to want to write. And now that these are done, I get to do my favorite part of the whole thing, which is peeling this tape off. This is the most satisfying thing about being an artist. If you've ever done this, you know what I mean. And if not, you're about to experience it. So, oh my God, enjoy these peels. Once the tape is all peeled off, you can really see those crisp edges, and now I have all of my painting part done, and I just need to cut off the edges. So I'm using an X-Acto knife, and I'm cutting off the edges of each painting, and then I'm also cutting it right down the middle to create 2 cards out of each sheet that I made. And voila, so now in total I have 4 cards. I'm kind of noticing that I want to bring some of the white element of that swash into the background of my card. So I'm just taking my Posca paint pen and I'm adding little dots. These are going to be so random, it just kind of pulls the whole thing together. All right, the writing step, you have to make sure that your paint is totally dry because all we're going to use for this is just a permanent marker, so it needs to write on top of paint. First, I'm going to use a pencil and make sure that I can place my writing how I want it. I'm just writing welcome baby because it's pretty generic, and like I said, I need to make lots of these. So I'll personalize the inside, but the outside is going to just say welcome baby. And I used a pencil first and then a micron pen for the small writing and a Sharpie permanent marker for the big writing, and I'm doing faux calligraphy. Now, if you've never seen faux calligraphy, I have a whole video about it and I'll link to it here for you. And then the very last step is just to fold your card. So just fold it in half. I do the exact same thing on all 4 cards, except on a few of them I write slightly different messages, and you can choose to write whatever you want. And that's it. Hopefully you liked that. If you did, I would love it if you would hit the thumbs up button down below and make sure you're subscribed because I put out 2 new videos every single week. For now, I'm going to link you to another type of card, a birthday card, in case you have any birthday parties coming up, and I'll see you over there.